Hi, my name is Catherine Crabtree, and today we're going to be doing the macro knowledge check. It is on the phospholipid bilayer and what can or cannot pass through. So, will it pass the phospholipid bilayer check? Bilayer vibe check is what I put. And I just thought that this would be a fun take. A vibe check is, are you passing, like, are you excited? Is it positive experience? And so let's go over the molecules that we were given in the assignment. Molecule A is a very small, nonpolar, no electrical charge. Molecule B is small, polar, no charge. Molecule C is large, polar, no charge. Molecule D is small, positively charged ion. And molecule E is a very large, strongly polar, multiple charged molecule. So we know that only small, uncharged molecules can diffuse through the phospholipid bilayer. And molecule A is a very small, nonpolar molecule with no electrical charge. So guess what? Molecule A is passing. It is passing our vibe check, so we are going to draw it. And do we have any guesses to what this is? That is a phospholipid head, and phospholipid heads like water. I'm actually going to draw that just a smidge closer to the, so I have room to do the diffusion. So this is the head, and then we're going to have a few of these. I'm only going to do 3. Just for the video's sake, try to keep it consistent. I'm going to do 3 at the top as well, since we already know that they're heads. And so, heads have what on animals? They have tails, and the tails are actually hydrophobic. They do not like water. So the heads are facing towards the outside looking for water. The tails are facing away because they don't want any. So, molecule A, as we have discussed, is small, nonpolar, no charge. So, molecule A, it's going to look like this itty bitty molecule, and it is going to pass through. Oh my gosh, whoops, pass through. So, yay, molecule A has passed the phospholipid bilayer vibe check. So, what about molecule B? Molecule B is small, polar, with no charge. So I'm going to give you guys a second to guess. Molecule B will, but it will do it slower. But that's okay. It's still passing. So small, polar, uncharged molecules can also diffuse through the membrane. Here we go with the heads again and the tails. I'm sorry if you're talking in the background. I'm on vacation and it's really hard to get space, but that is okay. We are still going to make this work. Okay, so here we have the phospholipid bilayer, and here we have molecule B that is a small polar with no charge, and it is going to pass, and it's going to pass right on through. The polarity may make it slower than smaller non-polar molecules, but it is still going to diffuse through. Maybe some might be averted, but not much. So molecule C is large, polar, and no charge, but the size is really going to impact this one. Molecule C cannot pass through. So we're going to show you what molecule C will do. Molecule C, I'm pretty sure, hold on, let's go through. So we have the heads, and now I'm drawing the tails. happening. Maybe a little bit might get through, but it's not going to pass without some assistance due to its size and polarity. So mo- things like molecule A, that's going to be like her gases. So like oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen, they're going to pass through. I like to think of them as like kind of whenever we think of like molecules, like atoms, whenever we think of gas, they're kind of spurty. And then whenever we think of liquid, they're still tight but not super tight. And we think of ice is compact. I like to think of this as a kind of like an atom, and it's gonna pass through because gas is loose, gas is freely movable. Molecule B, that's gonna be kind of like our water. And water's gonna be able to pass through. It's just gonna take a little bit slower amount of time. And then for molecule C, I kind of like to think of this as maybe like a glucose. That's kind of to my source that I used. It's kind of what I got the hint of was that this was more like a glucose molecule, and that's just not going to pass through. And then molecule D, it is small, positively charged. What do we think? I think molecule D is not going to pass. Molecule D is not going to pass because charged ions will not pass through. So, we're going to draw our heads. We're going to draw some tails. And then here is molecule D. It's a little bit bigger than anticipated. Let's draw that. Molecule D. It's going to look like this. And it's going to do a little bit of that action. It's not make it through that phospholipid bilayer. And molecule E. Please remember molecule E is very large, strongly polar, and multiple charged. It is large and in charged. Molecule E, yes or no? No, molecule E is not going to pass. It won't pass due to literally every aspect. It's too large, it's polar, and it is multi-charged. So, molecule E is going to look a little something like this. But nope, it's averted. So, there we have it. Here are my citations, but I wanted to talk about kind of an alternative route. So, although ions and like most polar molecules can't diffuse across the lipid bilayer, many molecules like glucose, they can cross cell membranes, but they have to have assistance. They have to have a transport protein or like a transmembrane protein that can help with this diffusal. These proteins kind of determine and select the permeability of cell membranes, and they kind of allow what's going to pass through a membrane in a bilayer. So yeah, here are my sources. I use the National Institute of Health, and I use the physiology web to kind of help me see an example of what the phospholipid bilayer looked like and how it was able to move across. I got good examples from that, and I would recommend it if you wanted to give it a look and check it out. It did give me a good detail and did give me a good insight of what can and cannot pass through this bilayer. So yes, that is my micro knowledge check for chapter 3 on the phospholipid bilayer and what can pass through and what can't. So I hope you enjoyed this, and that is my presentation. Oh, wrong.